the national anthem of Guinea-Bissau. You may have your seat, please. His Excellency, the visiting President, and the 2021 National Institute Distinguished Annual Lecturer, His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, His Royal Majesty, the Bongom Jos, and other royal fathers here present, the chairman and members of the Board of Governors of the National Institute, the Acting Director General of the National Institute, members of the National and State Assemblies here present, members of the Federal and State Executive Councils, management, faculty, and senior staff of the National Institute, the presidents and members of the Alumni Association of the National Institute, heads of ministries, departments, and agencies here present, the General Officer commanding 3 Armored Division, the Commissioner of Police, and other security agencies here present, my lords, spiritual and temporal, participants of the Senior Executive Course 43, 2021, and their beloved spouses, respected invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. We are gathered here this evening for the lecture of all lectures, the distinguished annual lecture of the National Institute caps the lecture season of the year and is delivered by a notable personality. And today we have a most notable personality to deliver this lecture, the sitting president of a country. I think we deserve a round of applause. As we commence this occasion, I will seek your indulgence to introduce members of the high table, beginning from His Excellency Umaru Sissoko Embalo, the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau and Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, who is a 2021 National Institute Distinguished Lecturer. You are welcome, sir. To his right is His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, CFR MNI. To His Excellency's left-hand side is His Excellency, our host governor, Right Honorable Simon Bako Lalong, the Executive Governor of Plateau State. We have the Acting Director General of the National Institute, Brigadier General C.F.J. Udaya, retired, PLSC MNI. Also on the high table is His Royal Majesty the Bongom Jos, Dad Dr. Jacob Gyang Buba, CON. we have the chairman of the Board of Governors of the National Institutes, who is the Chief of Defense Staff, here represented by Air Vice Marshal Dahiru Sanda, MNI. We also have the Honorable Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Salihu Magashi, retired. The Speaker, Plateau State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Yakubu Y. Sanda, is on the high table. And the Speaker, the Director of Research of the National Institute, Professor Dun Pamsha, is also on the high table. We will bring other introductions as the occasion progresses. I am Dr. Jacob Tado, your anchor for tonight, with Mrs. Bumi Okonoda.
Thank you, sir. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. It is my singular honor and privilege to invite a man who has come and is making strides in the administration of the National Institute. He is no other than the Acting Director General, CEO of the National Institute, Brigadier General C.F.J. Udaya, PLSC Daga, MNI, for his welcome address. The Acting DG, sir.
His Excellency General Umaru Sissoco Embalo, the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau and Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. His Excellency Right Honorable Simon Bako Lalong, the Executive Governor of Plateau State and Chairman Northern Governors Forum. His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, Commander of the Federal Republic and member of the National Institute. His Royal Majesty, the Gwangwam Jos, Dr. Jacob Yakub Giambuba, Commander of the Order of the Niger, and other royal fathers here present, the Chairman, Board of Governors of the National Institutes and Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, ably represented this afternoon by Air Vice Marshal Dahiru Sanda, member of the National Institute. Members of the National and State Houses of Assembly here present, management and staff of the National Institute, the President of the Alumni Association of the National Institute, Head of Ministries and Departmental Agencies here present, not forgetting too, the Honorable Minister of Defense, ably represented by Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, the Speaker, Plateau State House of Assembly, the Director of Study and the Director of Research, Institute Librarian, members of directing staff here present, participants of the Senior Executive Course for 2043-2021, members of the press, good afternoon. I am most delighted and honored to welcome to the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, a very good friend of Nigeria, and our distinguished annual lecturer, General Umaro Cisco Embalo. I'm equally very pleased to welcome to the National Institute a friend of the National Institute who has supported the National Institute in many spheres, especially sports and particularly golf. His Excellency, Right Honorable Simon Bako Lalong, the Executive Governor of Plateau State. Equally very pleased to welcome to the National Institute a most distinguished alumni, the Chairman of the Heritage Council of the National Institute, and the Chairman of our distinguished annual lecture, His Eminence, Muhammadu Saad Abubakar III, Commander of the Federal Republic and member of the National Institute. May I equally, Your Eminence, congratulate you on the celebration this month of the 15th year of your ascension to the throne of your forefathers. Congratulations, sir. I most respectfully welcome the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the National Institute, General Leo Irabor, and indeed all the board members here present. This afternoon, I have the distinct pleasure to the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, on this remarkable and memorable occasion of the National Institute's distinguished annual lecture. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the National Institute is Nigeria's foremost and apex policy and strategy think tank, which was established 43 years ago to serve as a high-level center for reflection, research, and dialogue, where academics of intellectual excellence, policy initiators and executors, and other citizens with high level of practical experience and wisdom drawn from different sectors of national life in Nigeria would meet to reflect and exchange on ideas of great issues of society, particularly as they relate to Nigeria and Africa. To realize this mandate, the National Institute, amongst many others, organized courses for top-level policymakers and executors drawn from the different sectors of the national polity with a view to expanding their outlook and perspectives and stretching their conceptual capacities, qualities of discernment and analysis, and thereby helping them to improve their overall performance in their different fields of endeavor. The flagship course of the National Institute is the Senior Executive course. Before us this afternoon are participants of the 43rd Senior Executive course. Our dear Chairman is a member of the Senior Executive course 28 too. As part of activities for the Senior Executive course, the National Institute organizes an annual lecture on a topical issue. This year, we have carefully selected a theme that will help us interrogate the challenges of nation building in the 21st century. The presentation to be made this afternoon by our guest lecturer is titled Nation Building, Projects and Challenges of the 21st Century. Chairman, sir, ladies and gentlemen, given the challenges of climate change, global health issues, especially COVID, globalization, and many other challenges of the 21st century, it will require a lot of craft for statesmen to forge together societies of people from diverse origins, histories, language, culture, and religion. You will agree with me that this topic is very timely as it addresses many of the issues of our contemporary reality. To do justice to this topic, we invited His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, General Umaro Sissoco Embalo, as our distinguished guest lecturer. President Embalo is a very good friend of Nigeria. The National Institute is grateful to him for accepting to deliver this lecture in spite of the short notice to him. Thank you very much, sir. This is a testament of His excellent relationship with Nigeria. Your Excellency, let me, on behalf of the board, management, staff, and participants of Senior Executive Course number 43, warmly welcome you to the National Institute for this year's distinguished annual lecture. I most sincerely thank and appreciate all of our invited guests, especially the spouse of our graduates, for honoring our invitation despite your tight schedules. I equally wish to thank and appreciate friends of Nigeria across the sub-region, members of the diplomatic corps, scholars, policy actors, civil society groups, and all invited guests. The National Institute is happy to host you and is open to collaborations that will better the lives of our people across Africa. On this note, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a happy stay in the National Institute and enjoy the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us give our Acting Director General another round of applause. Before I call on the chairman, let me recognize the representative of the Honorable Minister of Defense, Major General A.T. Jibril, retired, MNI. We also have the Secretary General of the Alumni Association of the National Institute, Alhaji Abakar Issa, MNI. Permit me to recognize the other members of NIPS management who are here. The Director of Studies of the Institute, who has anchored this program this year, Professor O.J. Paramalam, MNI. The Institute Librarian is Dr. E.S. Maman, MNI. We have other members of the NIPS management, ancient. Permit me to introduce Mr. Jonathan M. Juma, MNI, former Acting Director General and SDA. And last but not the least, Mr. Dr. Yakubu Sanke, former SDA and Acting DG. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of today's occasion is an eminent personality, a member of this institute, and a foremost traditional ruler. The chairman is His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abakar III, CFR, MNI. His Eminence is the 20th Sultan of Sokoto. He is also the President General, Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and the Jamaatul Nasr Islam. Born on 24th August 1956 in Sokoto to Hajia Fadimatu Binta, Wogo Ino, and Sultan Abubakar III, the 17th Sultan of Sokoto Caliphate. He commenced primary education in 1963 at the Sultan Ward Primary School in Sokoto. In 1970, he began his first year in the famous Government College Zaria, now Barewa College. Sultan Muhammad Sahad was admitted into the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, for the 18th Regular Combatant Course on 30 June 1975. He was commissioned into the Nigerian Army on the 17th December 1997 with the rank of a second lieutenant and posted to the Armored Division. Sultan Saad attended the senior executive course of the National Institute, course 20, in 2006 as a colonel, from where he was promoted to the rank of brigadier general. He was appointed the 20th Sultan of Sokoto on 2nd November 2006, following the demise of his senior brother, Alhaji Muhammad Machido Abubakar III. Sultan Saad was formally installed and presented with the staff of office as the 20th Sultan of Sokoto on 3rd March 2007. While in NIPS, he did a research on the topic, religious extremism as a national security problem, strategies for sustainable solutions. Mr. Chairman, sir, you may wish to bring your remarks.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Your Excellency, our most distinguished guest lecturer for today, and the President of Guinea-Bissau, General Umaru Sissoko Embalo, our most distinguished landlord and chief host, the Governor of Plateau State, and the Chairman of Northern Governors Forum, Your Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We give very, very special thanks to our Creator, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for this day. A beautiful Friday afternoon. We're all gathered to listen to one of Nigeria's closest friends, the President of Guinea-Bissau, who accepted to deliver this lecture within a short time, despite his tight schedule. I would like to, on your behalf, welcome him to Nigeria once more, welcome him to National Institute, the most prestigious institute in this part of the world, and the institute or institution where I personally went through and was rounding up my course before Almighty Allah pulled me out 2 weeks to my graduation to become the 20th Sultan. So Alhamdulillah, very proud of this institute, and I know its capabilities. And I once told people that whoever wants to aspire to any high public office must pass through this institute so that we can have a much better society in his or her hands. When I was invited by the institute to be the chairperson of this distinguished lecture, I did not hesitate for a simple reason that since I passed out of this place, I've never witnessed or took part in graduation ceremonies of this great institute due to so many reasons. I was always having things much more challenging at the time of the graduation period. So when I was given enough time, I blocked the date, and when I heard that a whole sitting president, whom we never had in this institute to deliver such lecture for a very, very long time, I think the last was President Museveni of Uganda. And in my 15 years since I left, I don't think I remember a sitting president coming here. So His Excellency, we thank you most sincerely for honoring us. You have not only honored this institute, you have honored our great country, Nigeria, because we are all partners. Today's topic the nation building projects and challenges of the 21st century is undoubtedly one of the most important issues in Nigeria today. It has always been so, but today, the suspicions and the fears and the challenges of national unity and cohesion that is threatening the continuity of this great republic. Admittedly, this is driven by ignorance and emotions rather than knowledge and foresight. It is therefore important that it is addressed by experts and statesmen, such as our guest lecturer today, so that Nigerians will be more informed and nation-building process will be salvaged from the short-sightedness of poorly informed local champions. The National Institute is the most befitting place to discuss and thrash this important issue, being the think tank of our great nation and the repository of the nation's memory and wisdom. Nation building is used to refer to the tasking and delicate process of state formation, while nations come into existence as a result of historical events. But nations are no historical accidents. They are a result of the hard and difficult process of keeping a polity together by, among other things, efforts to galvanize citizens to acquire that common sense of belonging and national cohesion through gradual social integration. By its nature, nation building is a dynamic process and is a journey, not a destination. Nations have to continuously be built to maintain that cohesion necessary for the nation to summon its national assets and to succeed in the competitive world of nation states. We can see how nations that are thought to be well settled and established keep going back to address some of the more fundamental bases of their existence. Almost every nation state which has succeeded in evolving into a stable, enviable polity today went through several trials and tribulations before getting there. So if it is any consolation, Nigeria is not alone. In fact, a number of countries have had to fight several wars to arrive at where they are today. Europe have many such states, but today they operate like a single big nation under the European Union. After several wars fought, they discovered that they need each other after all, and that they are better together than separate. That they have gone to several lengths to keep this union and made heavy investment and sacrifices should be enough lessons for us in Nigeria today. As historians know very well, until the emergence of the modern nation state, some 200 or so years ago, human societies were largely organized under empires and varying sizes, which often go to war to protect their economic assets or incorporate other polities to grow their economy. During this phase of human history, plural societies gradually integrate into each other, creating new communities and new language groups. The search for knowledge, as well as the search for livelihood through trading, were the more regular processes driving integration. Occasional natural disasters causing migration also add to the causes of the evolution of the different communities. By and large, these movements are gradual and cumulative, and over time, disparate communities adjust, fuse, and evolve into new communities. It is necessary these phenomena, which produced the succession of the empires in the West African region from Ghana, Borno, Mali through Songhai, and Sokoto Caliphate. The coming of European imperialism, which occasioned the colonization of African communities and the drawing of arbitrary borders, forcing separate communities to come together, and the separating of single community into disparate parts created havoc to the otherwise gradual and more natural process of human integration. These colonial disruptions appear to constitute the greatest challenges of nation building in Africa today. Prior to colonization, some state formations in Africa was far more gradual, humane, and robust. It is therefore important we do not lose sight of this important point. The Sokoto Caliphate, for example, to speak about an experience I am more familiar with, was unprecedented in its size and population, plural in both religion and ethnicity. Yet, even the British resorted to its administrative structure to run the colonial rule. What facilitated the social integration of the Sokoto Caliphate is the love for strangers, the cosmopolitan disposition, and the desire to spread the message of Islam beyond the confines of the polity, which all added to the economic growth and peaceful coexistence in the polity. Many of these ideas were actually state policies clearly spelled out in the many books written by the leaders of the Sokoto Caliphate. These books were not issued from on high, even as the stature of the scholars and the hierarchy of society grants them that privilege. Yet, there were rigorous debates and often disagreements between themselves. These disagreements were not fundamental and were done with such decorum that the respect, nay, the reverence among the hierarchy was not in any way affected. This is a measure of their selfishness, scholarship, and maturity that never led to any disruption of disobedience to constituted or moral authority. It only brought equality and thoroughness in their leadership. We should not lose sight of the fact that today in Nigeria, there are quite many who promote all manners of hatred and uncultured utterances because that is the only way they can become prominent, and for some, it has become a means of livelihood. Democracy has given rights to citizens to express themselves, and these rights are important and should be guaranteed. But the exercise of such rights must not be at the expense of the peace and progress of the polity. So while remaining democratic, we must not find a way to curtail those who wish to enjoy our corporate interests as a people and as a country. It is my hope that these experts, like His Excellency the President today, will do justice to this important topic and matter. I also urge us to learn from the lessons of others in the Americas, Europe, and Asia, but particularly lessons of our pre-colonial societies and polities that have held sway for nearly 1,000 years before the coming of the Europeans. In Nigeria, we have a lot of lessons from older polities such as Kanem Borno, Oyo, and Benin Kingdoms, and of course, the Sokoto Caliphate. It's time to return home, to look inwards for the solutions to our numerous problems, rather than chasing foreign models. I believe that the collective wisdom of our pre-colonial societies will give us fresh insight in the search for solutions to the problems of nation building. As I conclude, I would like to commend Sec 43 for renovating the masjid, in which we are all privileged to have the President of Guinea-Bissau to join us in Jumu'at prayers. May Allah bless all of us. May Allah bless National Institute, bless our great country, Nigeria, and bless Guinea-Bissau. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can we please appreciate His Eminence with another round of applause? Thank you very much, sir. Without much, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Without much ado, to read the citation of the 2021 Distinguished Annual Lecturer is the Chief Operating Officer of the Political Parties Leadership and Policy Development Center in NIPS, Dr. Musa E. Umar. Can we please bring him up with a round of applause for the citation?
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to read a brief citation of the 2021 National Institute Distinguished Annual Lecturer, His Excellency Umaru Mukhtar Siseko Embelo, the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. Our distinguished annual lecturer was born in the capital city of his country, Bissau, on the 23rd of September, 1972. He belongs to the Fulani ethnic group. His mother is Malian, and he also likes describing himself as being half Burkinabe, a true African indeed. President Embalo is not only a politician, but also a political scientist. He holds a degree in international relations from the High Institute of Social and Political Science at the Technical University of Lisbon, Portugal, as well as a master's degree in political science and a doctorate degree in international relations from Complutense University of Madrid, Spain. He specialized in African and Middle Eastern affairs and in matters of defense, international cooperation, and development. He is fluent in Portuguese and Spanish and competent in English, French, Arabic, and Swahili. President Embalo served in the military as a reserve brigadier general, which earned him the nickname the General. He undertook a course, National Defense Studies, at the National Defense Center of Spain, underwent further studies at the National Security in Brussels, Tel Aviv, Johannesburg, Japan, and Paris. He retired from the Army in the 1990s and moved into the private sector. As a politician, he served as Minister of African Affairs. He was appointed as Prime Minister of his country by President Jose Mario Vaz between 18 November 2016 and 16 January 2018. President Embalo became Prime Minister at a time when he boycotted his party, the African Party for Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde, based on certain principles he held strongly to and was not willing to compromise. While as the head of government, he was able to enjoy the support of Social Renovation Party, which had the second largest number of seats in the National People's Congress of Guinea-Bissau. Being a principal person on 16 January 2018, after disagreement with the President Jose Mario Vaz, he resigned as Prime Minister. President Embalo contested for president in 2019 election as the candidate of Movimento para Alternancia Democrática, which is known as modern G15, and won the runoff vote against another ex-Prime Minister, Domingos Pereira. He gained popularity during the presidential election as he presented himself as a strong believer in national integration, unity of his country. He was able to mobilize support across ethnic and religious divides as he himself exhibited being a Muslim but married to a Christian woman. On assuming office as president on 27 February 2020, President Embalo clearly stated his governance style as Embaloism, which he defined as order, discipline, and development, asserting that there is neither small state nor small president. As part of his anti-corruption crusade, he ordered the installation of CCTV surveillance camera across the country, and he ordered the arrest of his Minister of Public Health, on embezzlement charges in 2021. Since his assumption of office as president, he has demonstrated remarkable leadership qualities and also keen sense of patriotism. He came on board at a time when Guinea-Bissau was confronted with political instability, particularly as a result of decades of military intervention in politics since its independence from Portugal in 1974. He has been committed to the promotion of peaceful coexistence among the citizens, stability in the country, and improving the living condition of his people. President Mbello is a visionary leader who boldly, during his inaugural speech while being sworn in as president, declared that my presidency would fight against all the bads that affect the country. He also declared his intention to focus on the fight against corruption, drug trafficking, nepotism, and promised to promote national reconciliation. Since 2020, he has demonstrated commitment to these noble desires through innovative policies and programs. As a scholar of international relations and national security, President Mbello in 2020 was able to secure the withdrawal of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS troops, that was stationed in the country since after the 2012 coup. He was able to attract official visits from foreign heads of government to Guinea-Bissau, including the first visit from Portuguese government after 3 decades, and several international organizations. President Mbello was also able to embark on diplomatic shuttles to strengthen relationship between Guinea-Bissau and countries in Africa and other parts of the world. His first official visit as president was to Senegal, Niger, and Nigeria in March 2020. President Mbello is married to Denesia Ray Mbello. He is the father of 3. He loves football and a supporter of Belgian team Standard Liège. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the 2021 National Institute Distinguished Annual Lecture on the topic Nation Building Project and Challenges of 21st Century, please join me in welcoming an intellectual, an army general, a revolutionary, a social reformer, a young and visionary African leader of our time, President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, His Excellency Umaru Mukhtar Siseko Mbello. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Governor Simon Lalong, Executive Governor of Plateau State, Your Eminency Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, the 3rd Chairman of Graduating Ceremony, Honorable Acting Director General, Brigadier General Udaya, Royal Majesty, eminent principal officers of the National Institute, dear graduate, spouse, and friend, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to stand before you today. I would like at the outset to thank the Acting Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Policy and Strategic Studying for inviting me to be the distinguished annual lecturer at this 2021 graduation ceremony for the senior executive course. I salute all of you and bring a warm greeting from the people of Guinea-Bissau to the vibrant population of Jos and the entire Plateau State, recognized as the home of peace and tourism. To all of you, I say Assalamu alaikum. Today is very special day, and I can sense the excited me and joy of this house determination, hard work, and the creativity brought them to this high level of achievement. I want to share with you some thoughts about nation building and individual responsibility in an information age. We are aware of the fact that your planet has become a global village. Our neighbor is not just the man or woman living next door. Progress in the science and the new technology have shortened distance and brought us closer together. We have become interlocking citizens of the world. As Africans, we are justifiably attached to our roots and the cultural values of recent history, remaining our common denominator, and is a span or a way of thinking and determining how we see each other and the rest of the world. Yet education and acknowledge have helped to broaden our minds and giving us the tools to look beyond our demography or nation boundaries. Our world view us expanded as well as our scope of responsibility to be good steward of our women and the environmental resource. The current COVID-19 pandemic is a strong reminder that we are success for fall together and that we are obligated to ensure that the entire population of the globe have equal and timely access to vaccine and other new medical development. Otherwise, no country, no population shall be safe. Dear graduates, we cannot just look out ourselves and ignore what is happening in survey communication technology. The internet in particular was made it easy to be simultaneously here and there and to be heard and seen at any time of day or night. However, these new possibilities bring together our new moral and ethical responsibility. We must learn to distinguish between modernity and the social progress and advantage. Dear graduates, each of you, all of us, we have a role to play in ensuring that the world moves in the right direction and that while we're searching for better condition of living, we not destroy the balance of nature and the resource of our respective land and the countries. We have a common responsibility to protect our planet for good of future generation. In this regard, I believe that the conclusion of the last COP26 in Glasgow, though not fully satisfactory, are important step toward an ecological, more responsibility and a sustainable world. Nation building requires constant dialogue and inclusive among yourself and with society It requires learning to live together in harmony, sharing common ancestral heritage and the patriotic values. Therefore, it is essential to promote the culture of peace and the tolerance and accept the difference of opinion as basis of democracy and the national unity in any pluralistic society. Dear graduates, I speak to you. I am reminded that by 2050, of every 5 men, our women of the world population, one should be African. You and your children will be key player in shaping a new consciousness and building a new and better world. I commend you for aspiring to obtain more education and acknowledge and commend you for your effort, and also commend of those who inspired you and support you. I congratulate you for your achievement and wish you success and your future. And once again, thank you, Acting Director General, and all you for warm and generous hospitality for your mother. Thank you for my bad English also. I'm going to try to teach you also Portuguese.
Can we please appreciate His Excellency with another round of applause? Your Excellency, since I just heard that you speak French, so I will say merci beaucoup, son excellence. And I can try a bit of Portuguese, which is muchas gracias, vos excelencia. I hope I tried. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to quickly also introduce those that have come with His Excellency, the President of Guinea-Bissau. Here I have Ambassador Aristides Ocante da Silva, Senior Minister of the President's Office. You are welcome, sir. I also have one of his special advisors in the House, Mr. Alfredo Lopez Cabral. Can we please give him a round of applause? And also the political advisor to the President, Da Silva Fernando Delfin. You are most welcome too, sir. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Jacques Martin, gratitude is the most exquisite form of courtesy. So to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the National Institute is no other but the Director of Research in the person of Professor Dung Pamsha, the DOR, sir.
Let me lean on existing protocols. I've been given a very difficult assignment to perform this evening. I know quite a number would usually say this is a very simple assignment to thank people. But in this case, with the array of personalities that are here, it will be impossible for me to capture each and every one. But let me start by thanking His Excellency Umaru Ambalo, the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, and his entourage. Since you also speak and hear Swahili, I will say karibu. And I'm also told, I think Dr. Umar missed the other one, that he also speaks Birom. So, Shoada. Sir, we are really thankful to you for finding time within a very short notice to travel to Nigeria and also to Kuru to answer our call. We are really grateful for this. We are quite happy that you have made very strong, points about the need, for nation building, particularly in Africa, because we know Africa is still grappling with a number of crises, either of nation building, state building, and quite a number of these crises simultaneously, taking place. And you've drawn our attention to this. We are quite happy. You've made the point that we have to work very hard to bring people together as nations. We need to strengthen national unity and build strong nations. This is a very strong statement, for all African leaders and, of course, for all citizens, of Africa. You've also made the point that nation building requires constant dialogue and inclusiveness among, ourselves as citizens of these nations. So we want to appreciate you, sir, for making this point, and we hope that the African Union and ECOWAS and other countries, will take a cue from this advice that you've given on to us. Thank you very much, sir. Let me also appreciate His Eminence Al-Haji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, CFR-MNI, and his entourage for accepting to come and chair this session this afternoon. So we are very grateful for this. We have noted the very strong position that you have taken on the need to have nation building based on a model that we should derive, from the pre-colonial social formations. And I think that your thinking generally rhymes with those who have argued that in the past, most of our nations were united, most of our nations enjoy harmony, most of our nations enjoy unity, and probably we need to look back and see if we can derive, anything from our pre-colonial formation. So we appreciate you, sir, for putting this on the table for us to reflect on. I need to thank the governor of Plateau State, our father in the state, His Excellency Barrister Simon Bakola Long. So we appreciate you each time we knock on your doors. You're always with us. We appreciate you for being with us, throughout the day. We are aware that you supported us by being in the airport, and you're also here with us. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. The father of Jos, the Gungun of Jos, the Dr. Jacob Gyambuba. So we want to thank you. I wanted to say MNI, but I know you didn't come here, but you have related, with the National Institute for a long, long time. So being a friend of the Institute, probably the acting DG and the board may consider finding something for you, sir. So we appreciate you, sir. We want to thank the Minister of Defense and several other ministers who are now being represented here for finding time to travel all the way from Abuja, because I know all ministers live in Abuja, so you all came from Abuja. We want to appreciate you for finding time to come. The chairman of the Board of Governors of the National Institute, who is ably being represented by one of our own. Whether you have left here or not, sir, you are still one of our own, EVM DL Sanda. So we want to thank you for representing, the chair, and you've presented very, very well. There are many parliamentarians here from the federal and state levels. SARS and MAS, you are welcome to the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. I would pray that start looking for the opportunity to come down here as participants at the appointed time. Is a very useful thing to consider, so that you're not just giving the MNI, but you would have to acquire lessons that will help us move this country forward. I can tell all those parliamentarians that are here that those who will be given the MNI, if not yet been given yet, I'm told the DOS told me that there is a dot that is supposed to stand somewhere. So once that is delivered, you will go out there to make your contributions to this nation. And I can attest and tell all those members of ANI that they are playing very wonderful roles, in this country today. So parliamentarians, come and pick forms and be members of the National Institute. I thank the head, of the district here, the Gwangwoi Kuru, and his members of his council for finding time to come as well, sir. Patrick Mandun, you're welcome, sir. So we appreciate you. Members of the armed forces and other paramilitary, personnel, we want to thank you, for finding time to come. You've not just been here, but you've played very significant roles in the past few days for providing the services that we require, for this graduation ceremony. I'm keeping my boss to the end, the Acting Director General, Brigadier General CFJ Odaya, MNI. In the morning when we came here, and we were looking at the seats, and so he said, why are we sandwiching him between two powerful traditional rulers? But I reminded him that he's also a traditional ruler, so he's rightly positioned in that space. And the DG has played a very, very important role for at least this period where there has been a vacancy, and he has played this role very, very well. So we want to appreciate you. Members of the management, the Director of Studies, who has taken on her bag, the role of pushing this course 2021 very well. You've played very significant roles, and God bless you. The Institute Librarian, who will always be remembered for references. Institute Librarian, thank you. We want to thank the directing staff who have played very, very significant roles throughout this year. Some have moved in and out, but they're very, very, very stable in what they have been doing. They've not just been directing, but they've also been helping in the academic, work of the participants. So we want to thank you very much, sir. And senior fellows who have done very well, we want to appreciate you. And I know you worked day and night looking at the scripts of the participants. We want to thank you very much. Let me thank Dr. Umar for coming up here to read the citation, and you did a very good job. We want to thank you for that, and God bless you, my brother. Finally, let me thank the distinguished participants and their spouses that are here. It's you that the Institute exists, and you have done very well throughout this year's session. You traveled. We boxed you into certain conditions that I'm sure ordinarily you wouldn't like. But again, that's just about learning. And so we want to thank you for attending this session. Tomorrow, God willing, you would receive your certificates of good attendance and good behavior. We add that behavior. and we hope that you would be good ambassadors of the National Institute when you leave here. Usually we don't thank the press, but I thank my brothers and sisters from the press who have done very well covering the sessions since we started, and we hope that we'll continue tomorrow. The foot soldiers, those who have been involved in cleaning and preparing for all this, we want to thank you and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
It is also my honor to thank the Director of Research on your behalf. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are gradually winding down this lecture, and we're in good time. I'd like to appeal to very distinguished members of this audience who have not been introduced this afternoon. You will be recognized at the dinner. For our participants also, the DOS also told me that that I that is to be dotted is very important, so keep being well behaved. Okay, His Eminence is emphasizing that there is no I yet. And I think he's speaking from a very good position of experience. As my colleague, Mrs. Bumi Okonoda, earlier said, gratitude is the most exquisite form of courtesy. We want to continue in the spirit of gratitude by making presentations to the distinguished annual lecturer and His Eminence. The Acting Director General will make the presentation.
Excellency, on behalf of the board, management, participants of the Senior Executive Course 2021, we present this to you, sir, from the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. In Nigeria, we make a lot of crafts, especially this. It's actually made from Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate. So when you go back home, sir, you will use this to remember this important day. So thank you very much.
The next presentation is to His Eminence. His Eminence has made a presentation on principles of leadership to His Excellency. Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellencies, His Eminence, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of this very distinguished lecture. After the national anthems, there will be group photograph. The participants of Set 43, the graduates, who will soon have that dot inserted on the eye, would go outside for a group photograph with the distinguished annual lecturer, His Eminence, His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, and the other distinguished members of the high table and the management. We will now, also to remind you that the graduation dinner is at 7:30 today in the Unity Hall. Please be seated by 7 o'clock, waiting for the dignitaries. We will now rise for the national anthems, the Nigerian national anthem and the Guinea-Bissau national anthem. Hello, the participants, please, can you go out briskly and take your positions at the photo stand? Set 43 participants, kindly go out briskly and take your positions at the photo stand.
Let them do it in a hurry.
Yes. So once we confirm, then we'll share the...
These our people can be very slow. His Eminence was complaining that people were just strolling in after everybody has sat down.
Yes, you know that's why we couldn't even take the introductions, because people were...
Yeah.